everybody, and welcome to the show. Man, this is an important show. Please help us share, help us get this out. We are on the verge of a civil war in this country, and the left is trying to stoke it. Honestly, there's people in the Trump administration that could stop this who aren't. They're undermining the president, in my opinion. This is a disaster, and it's going to be up to we, the people, to be loud, to be outspoken on this, and to stop this chaos. What's going on in LA is about to spread all over the country. It is a disaster. And honestly, folks, it's going to be used to justify more AI, martial law, all sorts of crazy stuff if we don't speak up, if we don't get active. If you're not nervous right now, I don't know what's wrong with you. You clearly don't understand what's going on. This is a very, very big deal. We have, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you without any question or hesitation. We've got the map. I'm going to show you the map in a minute. This is going to spread all over the country. And if we don't stop it, it will be chaos. We will be looking at some serious, serious things. And the question is are we going to civil war? Are we going to justify lockdowns? Are we going to usher in the AI age of governance through another false flag event, through something that could be stopped right now, but won't be? If we arrest the people behind these protests right now, it'll stop. It doesn't have to continue. We don't have to have riots. We don't have to do this. There is no justification for what's occurring. And everybody knows the data's there, the information's there. We know what's happening. We know what's going on, and it can be stopped. It's just a matter of whether we have the political will to do it or whether the people around Trump are going to continue to undermine his MAGA agenda. Folks, it is only going to change if we, the people, demand it. Our DOJ has done nothing for months. All they have to do is start arresting people, and this stuff stops. We know who's behind it. We've got the names. I'm going to give you the names. If I can find the names here sitting at my desk in Ohio, and I can find enough information that I would feel comfortable if I were a prosecutor to bring charges and to do this, you could disrupt this entire network, shut these things down in a heartbeat. Why would we let it go? Why would we allow it to continue? The only reason is if we're using it, is if the deep state is using this to try and justify further lockdowns, to justify martial law, to justify all the things we're saying. And for those of you out there telling me there's a plan and this is part of it, I got news for you. This is ushering in the AI age. This is ushering in the Great Reset. There's a plan, all right, but it ain't MAGA and it ain't freedom. We have to get this done, folks. It's up to us, because right now, we are marching headlong in to lockdowns and to martial law, into the AI age of governance, and this country is about to be screwed on a pretty monumental level. It's going to be as bad as it was under COVID or worse. And it's time to speak up. There's no more room for us giving the benefit of the doubt. There's no more room to wait. We are out of time. So huge show today. Please share. Get people watching this. I need people to see what's happening. Again, we've got the context. I want to show you. In fact, you know what? I'm going to show you right now. Let me show you before I get anywhere else. We found this morning. It's huge. It's huge, and I want you all to see it. This is a group of leftists. This is what they're doing. June 14th. Here's the date. Here's where they want to run these riots. They want to run these peaceful protests all over. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like a war map to you. If we get hit in half of these places, we are screwed, folks. Screwed. This is a huge counter. This is the leftists, the globalists issuing these are their counter-strike plans to shut down MAGA, to shut down freedom. We don't have much time here, folks. There's no military coming to save us. Military coming in is going to usher in AI governance. It's going to usher in martial law. We don't want to set a precedent of having to send U.S. troops out on our soil. It's a bad precedent. I understand the National Guard. National Guard is fine. If we got to do that to back up the cops and whatever, okay. But even that is a scary thing. It is a terrifying thing to have our military out in our country potentially stand against our people, especially when it's unnecessary. It is completely unnecessary. Folks, we don't have to have this. We can absolutely have if we arrest the people, the heads of the snake, this shuts down. Anyways, I got to start out with, I can't forget my grift. Please support us. GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. Become a weekly, monthly whatever supporter you can be, however, $20 a month, whatever you can give. We desperately need it. I'm getting ready to launch some welfare initiatives and launch a bunch of other things. We have a ton of things we're trying to do. We need your support. It's time. I got the axe back out. I'm getting ready to go to war. Got a new plaintiff for a new case. It's a big deal. Lots of stuff coming, but I got to have your support to do it. So please help us. Also, make sure you go to TomRenz.com, www.tomrenz.com. Can't get there by searching Tom Renz. You got to go to it. Go to shop, click on our partners and affiliates. And today I want to highlight Block Trust IRA. Block Trust IRA. Listen, you can get crypto. You can put it into your retirement account. Trump likes crypto. Crypto's coming. It doesn't matter whether we like it or not. It's coming. You might as well make some money on it. And you're going to have it as part of what you do because you aren't going to be able to buy or sell without it. So no one likes it, but on some levels, you're going to have it. So you might as well make some money off of it now while you can. So TomRenz.com. Make sure you're checking out Block Trust IRA. All right, let's get to this. We have a huge show, and I've talked to the wonderful producer Andrea. She's going to be in and out helping us today because there is so much to talk about that her brilliance and wisdom and guidance will always be a wonderful addition to what we have to say here. So let's start out with the peaceful protests, right? The peaceful protests. Let me show you some of the peaceful protests. The media is telling peaceful protests, right? Like this. Look at how peaceful this is. It's wonderful. Look at all the peace and love we're seeing here. Peace everywhere I see. More peace. Look at that. Look at how peaceful that looks. I mean, no need for National Guard. These are peaceful protesters, right? The media is trying to convey this as something it's not, but what's happening is we're seeing these protests not only get started, and they have to lay the groundwork for it, right? So we want to really start out by laying the groundwork for what's going on in the hypocrisy because we're being lied to. When we look at where they're going with this, these are supposedly peaceful immigration protests that are going to then accidentally turn into something more. Okay, that something more is what's happening in LA. They have to see the reaction. They have to see what's going on. We can see Trump's reaction, right? And Trump is going into this and he's saying, nope, law and order, National Guard, that's fine. He's deploying the Marines, though. He's deploying the Marines. And there's really an interesting thing about the Marines. Let me show you this. So I posted and I want to give thanks to John Rich on this because I wouldn't have found this without him. But John Rich found an ad today. Let me show you. Producer Andrea, did you see this? I don't think I shared this with you in pre-show. So John Rich posts this ad on Craigslist. They are looking for, here you go, here it is. They are looking for extremely brave men, extremely tough, brave men for new crew IM building, right? So they want the toughest dudes in the area. You get 6,500, 1215 per week. I'm going to LA. I'm going to go kick somebody's ass. For you give me 12 grand a week, I'll fight anybody you want me to fight, brother. And trust me, I can do it. But no, they want badasses to come in there that can go literally fight, physical fight. This is what they're looking for. Looking for these sorts of things. They're looking for this in LA for all this nonsense. Now, it looks, and we can't say for sure, and you can see that I tagged FBI and all these guys who aren't going to do anything, but I might as well tag them anyways, saying, hey, what are we going to do with this? Okay, so these peaceful protests don't appear to be all that peaceful, and the media is trying to lie to you about it. But meanwhile, the bad guys are trying to recruit more bad guys who are the baddest ass guys around, according to the ad, to do what? To peacefully protest? It doesn't sound like a peaceful protest to me. Seems like a little bit of something else, right? So we've got peaceful protests all over the place. Now, it's interesting because the media is now starting to shift gears. Trump comes back and he says, no, we're done with this, right? So he gets National Guard, this, that, and other. So the media has nonstop been telling us this chaos. Here, let me show you this video. This is a great one. Producer Andrea found this. This is the peaceful protests in LA. Look at how peaceful it is. The graffiti on the car. See the graffiti? See him peacefully attacking the car? Look at peaceful protesters. Look at the peacefulness here. I can't stress it enough. Now, and I want to actually bring this back because I love this meme. Here is the insurrection, J6. Here are the peaceful protests. Insurrection. They're even staying within the roped area. Peaceful protest. Yeah. We've even got more peaceful protests. More peaceful protests. This is actually where the police cleared out space and then waved people through the Capitol during J6. Look at how violent and insurrection-y they are. Look at the chaos. You see all the destruction they're doing. I mean, look at these guys. You see the burnt cars and there's the police officers just kind of hanging out. These are the violent insurrectionists who are clearly insane and scary. They're not peaceful like these guys. These are the peaceful protesters. These are the violent insurrectionists. Okay. Now that we've established that there is a peaceful protest, that peaceful protest was going well until, well, evil Trump brings in the National Guard, and they had to use some rubber bullets, and one of these Australian reporters, she got hit. So now, shocking news, it's turned violent. LA protests turned violent. Why? It wasn't violent because of this. This is not violence. Producer Andrea, do you see the difference here? This is not violence, is it?
Not at all.
No. I mean, look, this is chaos. I mean, this up here, look at these evil people walking between the roped areas and, being scary. This
domestic terrorists.
Yes, the domestic terrorists up here. These guys are fine. We're waving the Mexican flag in America, and but here now it's turned violent because Trump has a National Guard, and one of the journalists who is in the wrong spot gets hit with a rubber bullet. She's not dead. It's a rubber bullet, but it hurts. Hurts like hell from what I hear. I've never been shot by one, but I hear they're pretty effective at knocking people down. So you have it's turning violent now because not because of anything real, but because of a reporter getting hit with a rubber bullet. Producer Andrea, I'm just, in your expert opinion, is there any hypocrisy? I mean, what are we looking at here?
I mean, it's really sad. My family's all from Los Angeles. I still have a lot of family down there, and it's been like feeling like it's at the tipping point for a long time. These Democrat blue hotbed cities. I mean, it's like it's the playground for all this paid, totally, put together, organized protests. And I mean, we even had some that came to Reno, at the beginning of, the COVID craziness. And they were all bussed in. And so you're hearing people that live in LA that know these neighborhoods, and they're seeing a lot of people that are not locals. You've also got law enforcement saying that they've seen some of these characters from city to city at different protests. These things don't just happen. And I mean, it makes my heart hurt for the people who think that what the narrative that they're pushing in the media is the truth, because it's like, please understand that this is all manipulation. Soros paid for all of it. And honestly, the immigration stuff is near and dear to my heart because, again, I grew up in those areas. And what you're seeing, like when you watch some of these videos, everyone's going, everyone's saying, even on our side, everyone's saying, oh, it's these illegal immigrants and they're out there protesting. Well, some of them look like that, but you'll be shocked to see how many of them look kind of like the skinny, purple-haired, white kind of meth head looking people like we saw up in Portland. Like, this is not, when you're there and you're watching it, you can see the truth, So it's just like, do not be so easily bamboozled by this nonsense. It's absolutely and in that website you showed, it's what, nokings.org.
Yep.
No, everyone should go to nokings.org and see the playbook.
Yep.
These type of protests don't just organically happen because the people are just, I mean, and then if you go to the nokings.org website, it says something in the description. I don't know if you want to pull it up again, but it says something in the description about people being disappeared. They're fighting over the fact that these people are disappearing. And the hypocrisy there is how many, I mean, we've been reporting on it, how many kids are going missing in Mexico and South American countries with the human trafficking, but they're saying that we here, our ICE deputies, are making people disappear.
Yeah. Well, so this is almost like producer Ann and I coordinated it, but was actually not. I was hoping she was going to get into the this is planned, right? Now, interestingly enough, speaking of paid and having people that don't look like illegals showing up, let me show you this. Remember that job description I was telling you?
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for the badasses. Well, look at here. Bonus experience, military, except for Marines. We don't work with Marines anymore. Long story. So if you're a Marine, don't bother, right? Why is that, folks? Why is that? Well, this is planned, right? Nothing about these peaceful protests is an accident. And here's what I want to get to. I'm going to make the case over the next few minutes, however long it takes, and that this is not only not organic, it's intentional, it's planned, it's funded, it's organized. But here's the thing, and here's what we have to keep coming back to. I live in Ohio, in a small town. We won't have any protests in this town like that. They won't happen. People would get their guns out. I can assure you that's a long ways from where I'm at. How is it that producer and Andrea and I can sit here this morning? We can do some research. We can pull up all the connections, and we're going to go through how this is being funded, how it's being planned, what's going to happen next, and we're going to give you the evidence, right? It's real evidence. So if I can do that, and I'm going to come back to this 1,000 times this show, if producer Andrea and I can do that in one morning, why can't the FBI go arrest the people that are facilitating this? I'm even going to give you a couple names and a couple groups. We're going to go through it all. So please tell me, if you arrest the leaders of this, wouldn't it shut it down? Couldn't we prevent this from turning into a civil war? And I want to suggest to you all this. Trump may be doing a great job as the president, but he's got snakes around him. This could be stopped. It's not being stopped. Why? Because the deep state, the federal deep state, is winning. They're winning, hands down. Not one thing that Donald Trump has done is irreversible. His executive orders are reversible. His trade negotiations are reversible. We've passed no legislation. We've accomplished nothing that can't be changed on day one of whatever the new administration will be. Meanwhile, we're pushing all these things that certainly justify AI surveillance state. I mean, because remember, we're trying to pass the big, beautiful bill that doesn't allow anyone to regulate AI. And at the same time, we've got Palantir and all these groups coming in to push the AI governance across the board. So there's no secrets anywhere, nothing, no privacy. Government accesses everything that you do, however you do it. It's all there. It's the ultimate Fourth Amendment workaround. This is not organic, and it's not just leftists. This is coming from our federal government. It's coming from our deep state. And in fact, we funded some of this with U.S. aid. Mm-hmm. U.S. aid funded this. Folks, this is not an accident. It is not organic, and it's not just Soros. Yes, the globalists are there, but they're doing it with their partners in our federal government. And the Trump administration is going to have to stop them, or it's going to continue. And just saying we got to release our soldiers and we have to declare martial law and we have to do AI surveillance, then we're trading our freedoms for security, which never works. Do you remember the Patriot Act, folks? Mm-hmm. How did that work for y'all? Remember under Biden how we had, the moms and the school board people? Remember how we had the travel lists, the Clear Skies initiative, or the Blue Skies, whatever it is? This is a setup, and we're falling for it, and MAGA's falling for it. And I see too many conservative influencers out there pretending that this is something it's not. This isn't the left versus the right. This is the globalists and the deep state versus everyone. Yes, we've got a few people on our side. I don't believe Donald Trump wants any of this to happen. But if he's got advisors who are lying to him and not even telling him about drone strikes in the Ukraine, do you think they're telling him the truth about this? Hell no, they aren't. Hell no, they aren't. And so anyways, this is not peaceful. It's not accidental. And it's nothing but a coordinated attack being used to justify the furtherance of the AI surveillance state and the furtherance of the military presence in and on U.S. soil. And it's not a good thing. And for my Q brothers and sisters, y'all been telling me about the plan forever. Remember, that plan you guys always tell me about, they're going to have to do martial law and the military's in control and they'll free us. Martial law is not a good thing, folks.
No,
it's not. The military being released in our country is not a good thing. National Guard to support. Yes, I can live with that. That's it. I don't want active duty Marines on our soil. I don't want that. It's a terrifying thing because are you going to trust the military to give it back? We just had 4 years of Biden put every crook in the military that we could. We see the military undermining Pete Hegseth. We see them actively working under Pete Hegseth to try and set him up to make him look bad. Do we want that? Is that where we're going with this? Do you really trust that that's going to be a positive thing? Because I don't. I think that's a disaster.
And this isn't about the people. That's the thing that breaks my heart.
No.
Is the people who think that this is about, helping the families that are getting separated and
they're being used.
And that it is about, good people who are being deported when they shouldn't be and things like that. The broken immigration system. This isn't about that. Just like George Floyd wasn't about George Floyd and COVID wasn't about COVID. I mean, they are lying to you and they are using your community and the innocent people in your communities. I mean, you saw in one of those pictures, a kid got hurt. I mean, you see people getting, in some of these videos with the riots, there are people in cars that are trying to run people over.
Yeah.
I mean, the devastation that's going on there is so heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching. And the sad thing is, if we continue to have them lie and have this propaganda machine telling people that it's about something that it's not. I mean, and then Newsom, the scum, can stand up there and say the crazy stuff he's been saying. And people, the fact that man can walk the streets in California, and honestly, I grew up in
mind-blowing
San Joaquin Valley, which is Nunez country. And trust me, I don't think he probably can walk the streets in Nunez country. The people of California, there are a lot of good people in California, and it's so sad to see what's happening to that state. And again, not for what you think it is. This isn't about the babies who are being separated from the parents. This isn't about mass deportation. And I just saw one of our favorite, is it Terrence Williams, that always posts funny things, but he was upset this morning. And I mean, he made the good point that if people actually did their research about deportation, Obama deported like millions and no one said anything.
No,
again,
they are way more than Trump has.
They're creating all these lies. The cages at the border, those were Obama's.
Yeah, those are Obama's cages.
I'm not saying that there's just a good side and a bad side, and that politics is like that. What I'm saying is, do your research and have some discernment here, and try to protect your communities from this nonsense. When we had protesters come to Reno, we had a lot of, I wouldn't say it was Proud Boys, but it was really interesting because some of the good guys in my community, leaders, they came out with, we have a lot of biker groups here, right? It's just like our culture. A lot of those are ex-military, and it's funny how they brought up Marines. We had a lot of our military Marine guys going in on their motorcycles, and they were helping stop the chaos. And so again, knowing the truth of it and understanding, like I saw people being shipped in from the Bay Area off of buses in my community. And then all of a sudden, days before our protests and our riots, like every other car on the street had out of state plates, and they were all from the Bay Area. They shipped these people in to cause this chaos in our communities. We've got to find a way to stop it. But I think we have to talk about the truth of what's really happening.
We do. And let me justify, let me back up producer Andrea's assertion again, because like I said, it's almost like we planned this show, which of course we did not. I mean, that would never happen. This is one of the peaceful protesters. Does he look like he's an illegal immigrant? Does he look like let's hear this brilliance.
You told me you got caught up in the tear gas as well. Describe what happened to you.
Oh, just tasted a little tear gas. Tasted like fascism.
You told me you got
Tasted like fascism. So this guy.
And then ask him, I wish there was a follow-up of define fascism. These freaking retards don't even know what fascism means.
Well, this jackass is okay with this. And, stopping this is apparently fascism. But, this, of course, this is also fascism. This is okay. This is okay. I mean, and we've got literally 1,000 videos out there of people looting and destroying and creating absolute chaos.
And we could, what they did with J6, sorry, I just was realizing we have so many people that we know that were imprisoned and shouldn't have been with J6.
Well,
they did the
videos.
They did the videos where they, found out who all these people were walking around the Capitol that day, walking, mind you, not doing anything. And they got imprisoned because they were identified, right? Face recognition. Well, there are police officers on the streets going, we've recognized these they're calling them anarchists. We've recognized these people in other protests, in other cities across the country. So why is our FBI not doing that? Why are we not combing through all this live footage we have and face recognition of these people and going after them?
But Andrea, listen, here's the thing. If these people are getting bussed around to do this, someone's paying for it.
Exactly.
And if you and I can figure that out and track it down, why
and you and I
can't
figured it out in
Bongino
about
and
20 minutes. I'm a homeschool mom sitting up here drinking my coffee this morning, and I got a list of how many names that I gave you of people who are funding this. So yeah, what is our FBI doing? Nothing.
I'm just telling you right now that you and I can track this down in minutes. We can see, if we the people can see that this is planned, it's organized, it's structured, it's coordinated, but no one is doing anything to stop it. Listen, you can't do this without essentially the complicity or authorization of our federal government, because they have all they need to stop it. If I can track it without any sort of warrants or any sort of investigatory powers, then they can track it. Now, it's
and you have Newsom. You have Newsom saying, and I won't cut you off again. Sorry, I'm just getting heated up. But you have Newsom saying, and I also looked into Hollywood media processing what all the Hollywood retards are saying, the libtards down there, and they're all blaming it on Trump. If Trump wasn't doing his job, and if Trump wasn't following the law, this wouldn't be happening. Are you kidding me? So you're saying that these are peaceful protests and these people have the right to do it, and they have the right to be angry because Trump was following the law. Who's following the law and who's not? Who are the ones that should be locked up right now? I mean, they're out there burning down cars and causing havoc, and they're trying to tell us that it's legitimate because Trump was deporting illegal immigrants.
Speaking of that,
mind-blowing.
Speaking of that, again, it's almost like the producer Andrew and I coordinated this, but here we have Mayor Bass. Here you go.
We do not want to play into the administration's hands. We're working with officials, we're organizing resources, but what we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic.
This woman is the epitome of a POS, but let's talk about what this really is, because I don't think it's what you heard. So you've got New Scum and Bass out there doing what they're doing, right? Lying through their teeth, this, that, and other, but I think they're useful idiots on this. They're out there talking about how, Trump this, Trump that, it's the administration's fault, but guess what? they're egging this on. They're the ones telling people, go ahead and do this. Go ahead. We're not going to help with administration. In fact, we actually have, let me see, where did I have this? We want to make sure I got this up right. There we go. So a credible report, this is on my X feed, which of course, if you're following me on X, you would know, and you should be following me. If you're not, you should be sharing and supporting and becoming a paid supporter and everything else, because we need those. But here we have this, right? This is Bass helping to facilitate this, right? So here you go. Last night, when DHS and FBI requested assistance because they were overwhelmed by rioters, LAPD sat idle waiting for direction. Instead of allowing the incident commander to act, Mayor Karen Bass has bypassed established protocol. She called for the IC for a briefing and then called for the chief of police to tell him what to do. By personally directing operations, Bass functioned as a de facto incident commander in direct conflict with the city's emergency operations plan and national incident management system protocols. This is a breach of chain of command, blah, blah, blah. So she is literally facilitating this. She's making this happen. Now, we know that the Democrats are going to do that, right? We know that the Democrats are all in to support this, but the Democrats aren't doing it alone. Why isn't she arrested? Why is today? Why is she not in jail? Why has no one said, you know what, you're aiding and abetting, you're facilitating, just like the judge who tried to usher the illegal out of her courtroom? You have riots, you have a city burning, and yet the mayor of that city, who is actively working to undermine it, violating the chain of command, doing all these sorts of things, openly aiding and abetting these riots and an insurrection. I mean, let's go back to this, right? I want to go back to this. I'm going to keep coming back to it. Here you have insurrectionists. Here you have peaceful protesters. The mayor of LA is facilitating and aiding this. Here, anybody that knew someone that was at J6 was getting a call from the FBI. Here, you have a mayor actively aiding and abetting, interfering with investigations, interfering with police work and federal action, interfering with everything. No action, no investigation, no anything. Here, J6, oh, well, you talked to someone or you were in Washington, so you're going to get investigated. Here, the mayor can actively go out, talk about and promote this, and nothing. This is occurring. I'm going back again. This is occurring because we are allowing it.
Yes. Trump is in office right now. We've got our dream team, right? Bondi and Cash and Bongino. So guess what? What do we look like right now to the left? They don't even have to try that hard. They have this website, nokings.org. They have it all planned out and mapped out. How on the 14th, there's going to be this happening in every major city across our country. And what is our government doing about it? How is it that you can't find Tom Renz on a search? But I'm sure if you go to No Kings right now, it's going to be at the top. And it's pretty easy to find. How is this happening under our dream team administration? How's it happening?
Let's talk about that. And let's talk about what's resulting, right? Because this is occurring because Trump can only be in one spot at a time. Just like when his advisors didn't tell him about the Ukrainian drone strike on Putin and on their military stuff, they're lying to him. Trump is being lied to just like he was the first term. It's occurring. No one's doing anything about it. You know, I think we should be asking Susie Wiles why she's not making sure that Trump's aware of what's going on. I think we should be asking.
How does she get a job? I get kicked out of politics because I start talking about election fraud, and everyone in my state says don't even work with Andrea. Susie Wiles is our chief of staff, and she has been paid off by globalists, and we've tracked the money. You can't tell me. I mean, how do we not vet people out that are right next to our president? Again, like I've said a million times, I wouldn't let Susie Wiles walk my dog. Why would I let her be the chief of staff next to Trump?
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting. So what else is Trump not hearing about? And, you know, when we look at this, now we've got people advising Trump on what to do with this. None of this is by accident. Everything is occurring on purpose. So Trump comes out and says let's see here. So Trump addressed the deployment of National Guard troops Los Angeles in response to immigration protests, stating, quote, "We're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country." Now, that's classic Donald Trump. And I love Trump for being the way he is. And of course, he's trying to save our country. But let's talk about what's going to happen. We've got a whole slew of bad guys getting ready to do this all over the country. We're going to release the military. We're going to put our country under martial law. Again, let me remind you of this map. And we're going to get to this. We're going to get into this in just a minute. No kings. Here you go. Here's where they're planning protests. I'm guessing you'll find a city near you on this because it's everywhere. So this is where it's going. Trump's going to, you're going to deploy the military everywhere? Basically, you're going to have our entire standing army in cities all over the country. Now, there's an issue with this.
Well, in
legally,
NPR, I was sitting and drinking my coffee this morning, and it came on. I like to listen to the NPR and the liberal news because it tips me off what's going on. But that was on, my news really early this morning, and that also there's something about the way he said it. It's like obviously he's received intel now about this whole plan to go into multiple cities, but you cannot tell me that this intel didn't exist before we got to this point in LA. Why is LA now on day 4?
This is known.
This is insanity. And so again, I get in trouble for saying negative things about Trump and the administration. But how is it that this morning on day 3 of the LA riots, or going into day 4, now he's saying, I'm going to have to, put military in multiple cities? It's like, is it too little too late? Is it too obvious? How much intel do you have? And why are we just now to this point? They've known about this for a long time.
It's been planned. It's been coordinated.
I'm surprised that the mayor, what's her name, Bass, I'm surprised that she's in town because last time with the LA fires,
she was in Africa.
Those were also planned. We have evidence of that too. The LA fires were planned. She was on vacation and she came back and said something in a press conference that sounded like, kind of like I was out of town on purpose because it was planned.
Yeah.
So I'm glad she's at least there. They told her that she has to show up this time.
It's quite clear that this is being coordinated with help from our feds. The deep state and the federal government is involved in this. And in fact, we'll get to this in a minute, but we can give you a list. At least one of the groups behind this, because we traced the money, has gotten like $20 million from U.S. aid on this. We are funding this with our taxpayer money. Let's get to this, right? Let's get to this. So I posted this a little bit ago. Breaking, it appears to be how the left is coordinating the riots. They're going to expand. This is happening, and the question is whether we will stop it or use it as a justification for more AI surveillance and deployment of the military on American soil. It can be stopped, but we must make arrests of people at the top, right? And so I posted about the No Kings website. Now, let's go into the No Kings website, right? And before I do, I want to remind you again, if producer Andrea can track all this down with me in a morning, if we can figure this all out in one day, please explain to me how it is that Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and A.G. Bondi haven't done anything on this. Why is it that these people aren't being arrested? Why?
Well, yeah.
So here's the No Kings website, right? In America, we don't do kings. They've defied our courts, deported Americans, disappeared our people off the streets, attacked civil rights, and slashed our services. Corruption has gone too far. No thrones, no kings, no crowns. June 14th, we rise up. Oh, look at how exciting that is, right? We can, and they give you toolkits and events and all sorts of things. So you go here, and where are they doing it? Well, everywhere. Everywhere. Now, how many of these are going to turn into violent protests? I don't know. It's not going to be everywhere. There's no way they've got it coordinated in this many places. But you see the stars? That's Chicago. We got some key places around the country. Do these stars represent areas where they're expecting the big protests? I mean, you got Charlotte, Philadelphia. You got Chicago area. You got Phoenix, Houston. Houston is a hotbed for leftists. Atlanta. Okay, so you got all these places. Are these areas that we're going to see the big riots? If I can ask that question and find this data, why can't Kash Patel and Dan Bongino? Why can't AG Bondi? And why is it that the people who run No Kings aren't being investigated? Why is it now look at, you can see what's happening. Why isn't the FBI knocking on their doors and saying, hey, and by the way, here it is in Espanol. Are they working with foreign nationals? Are they working with enemies of the state against our country? Because that's treason. Okay, that's treason. Spread the word. This is how it's being organized, right? On June 14th, Flag Day, President Trump wants tanks in the street and made for TV display of dominance for his birthday, a spectacle meant to look like strength, but real power isn't staged in Washington. It rises up everywhere else, right? So you're going to have June 14th chaos. This is a counterstrike. This is insane. Now they say down here, we're committed to nonviolent action, right? Okay, sure. Looks like it, doesn't it? Right? Doesn't this look like they're committed to nonviolent action? Need I show the video again? Now, interestingly enough, and of course, you know, I mean, if you AI search it, it's going to say, well, we can't prove the ties. Of course you can't prove the ties. What do you think? They're going to advertise it? Isn't it interesting that all these groups seem to be working together towards a common goal? And it just so happens that there's violence in every one of these. Violence from people who are known to go to event to event to event and seem to be being paid. Remember the advertisement Seth Rich found or John Rich found that I shared?
Well, we have Democrat representatives now, and I know you're going to get to that, but we have Democrat representatives out there encouraging it. Per the usual, they're saying, go to the streets. This is our time. Act now. And again, what their narrative is, which we know is baloney, but their narrative is Trump doesn't have the right to deport illegal immigrants. That's the narrative, folks. This is the world we're living in. This is the world we're living in.
It's literally insane. Now, here's the problem. And I'm going to get to, you know what? I'm going to get to this in a second. I want to get to this after this. Let's talk about this. We have.
Well, can we say real quick too about the big beautiful bill? That was something that was on my head and I lost it earlier. The big beautiful bill has the clause in there about AI and how no one can do anything. There's no policing or controlling AI on a state level. AI is going to just be let loose to do whatever it wants for 10 years. So this kind of seems like it might have been planned as well with the big beautiful bill. I'm just telling you, like, that is insane. What we're talking about is the military on the streets, AI control, the loss of our freedoms, and then the big beautiful bill is allowing it. It's encouraging it.
The big beautiful bill is an absolute disaster. Well, let's get to this though, right? Let's get to this, right? So just doing some quick AI work and some different things, and Data Republican found a bunch of this stuff, and I started digging into it, and it's really pretty profound. You've got a group of people that are absolutely funding and supporting these riots, right? Now, let's start out with the one that I think is the biggest deal. You have CHIRLA. CHIRLA is CHIRLA, Coalition for Human Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles, right? Now, it's interesting. They always have these lower level organizations that they try and, make most responsible so that if they're arrested, it doesn't go too far up the food chain. But CHIRLA, turns out that in the year 2016, got $2.3 million from the government. Now, 2016 was Trump's first year in office. And I wonder how many of the riots during his first term of office came from this. Now, that donation would have came from the 2015 budget that was controlled by Obama. So Trump didn't really have anything to do with it, even though it occurred during his term. Then in 2021, Biden gave CHIRLA another $18 million. So you've got well over 20 million that went to this group from USAID, which we can't shut down. I mean, the Republicans love USAID. They don't want to shut down USAID. They keep telling us that it's great. The Republicans won't do anything. USAID, none of the Doge cuts, nothing. It's all there. We're going to just keep letting it go. And the Republicans, not the Democrats, we expect to oppose it, but the Republicans have the majority. Not one of the Doge cuts has been made permanent. USAID is still alive and well. Nothing's being done. And Churla, one of the groups behind these riots, has received $20 million plus of your tax money to do stuff like this. Folks, you're paying for it. You are paying for it. This is the U.S. government is so controlled that this is actually being done in a way where we're paying for these riots. Soros doesn't have to pay for it because we're so stupid that we are. We're so corrupt. Now listen, Donald Trump is running the biggest organization on the planet, the U.S. government. He doesn't see everything. He can't. And we have clear proof that he's being kept in the dark on things like Forsaken is saying. They're lying to Trump. They're lying to him. They aren't telling him this, just like they didn't tell him about the drone strikes in Ukraine or in Russia. We know what's going on here. And yes, aftermath, I would imagine Musk is angry. Now, I don't know what to think of Elon. I like some of what he does and hate some of what he does. But I do know that if you want to be pissed off about something, we got a good reason. Several of them. We gave $20 million to one of the most foundational groups involved with these riots. You also have involved Party for Socialism and Liberation, a straight up communist group. Why is there a communist group acting with impunity? Why has the head of Churla and the Party for Socialism and Liberation, why have they not been drug in to the FBI headquarters and questioned on this? Why are there no charges on this? What's going on here? We've got the Answer Coalition, right? It's an umbrella group. They're tied in with all this, right? And they are very much tied in on this. They're sponsored by Progress Unity Fund, which is a C3, although none of their donors are listed. Now, this guy, Neville Roy Singham, is big in this whole thing. Now, Neville Roy Singham is an American based out of Shanghai with huge ties to CCP, from what I understand. He's roughly a billionaire. He's in that vicinity. He might be upper millionaire, but he's funding this in a huge way from Shanghai with ties to China. He's been at this for a long time. Why is he not being drug in? Now, there's questions about China and some of these other nations. There's been reports about Qatar and about these others being involved. But the gist of this is that Churla, PSL, Answer, and Neville Singham are all pretty clearly involved in some of this. Are any of them being arrested? Are any of them being drugged before the FBI? How about the people who are tied to them? Now, with my limited ability in a few hours this morning, I can dig this up, but somehow Bongino and Cash can't. No, we're gonna go get the guys who are. We're gonna go arrest the guys who are throwing bricks because that's gonna stop it. They clearly care about that. I mean, they bail them out.
The snake. We know the head of the snake, and there's multiple. There's thousands, and like you said, we are funding this. We are funding this.
Yelling at me for calling out Patel, Bondi, and Bongino. Mm-hmm. Listen, I've been saying Epstein list, Soros Open Society Foundation. If we don't do something, this stuff's going to keep rearing its head. Well, it is. This should be called the Tom Renz Vindication Hour. But
and even AI tells you now. I mean, I play with Grok in the morning because I like to see what Grok's doing as far as, what kind of propaganda BS is coming out of Grok. But this morning, Grok actually participated pretty good with me when I said, and so I'm encouraging every person out there, no one has to be ignorant on this. Get in the AI and say, hey, what's the Open Society Foundation doing? And how could it possibly be tied to this No Kings people or the riots here or the riots there? And where's the funding come from? Grok will list it for us. So if AI can list it for you.
I will caution you. When you ask AI, you got to ask it the right way because AI is very much, and it's very clever at manipulating and lying to you. Yes. And it'll say, no, there's no involvement. You got to ask the right question or you're going to get a lie because AI loves to spread propaganda.
But I was actually shocked that when it came to open society money and how it gets filtered to these groups that then participate and basically fund and conduct these terrorist, like anarchistic riots and stuff. I mean, there are ties that you can find very easily online. And again, why are we not shutting down it's the head of the snake.
Yes.
Okay. These are not the people in LA. I'm wondering the percentage. It's not I feel bad actually for the illegal immigrants that are tied into this, that think that they're fighting for their rights right now, because
God,
you're
I
not
hope people are
fighting for your
sharing this
rights.
show.
You're
God,
not
I hope
fighting for
they're
your
sharing
rights.
this show.
You are being used and manipulated. This has nothing to do with you. They don't care about you.
No.
They organized these riots for a much more nefarious
Yes.
scheme, and our federal government knows about it and isn't stopping it.
I hope to God people are sharing this. You need to get the word out on this, because the next step is to allow these to expand, to push for military lockdowns, deployment of troops on the soil, and to set a precedent where our troops can go after violent insurrectionists. Here's the problem. It was only a few years ago J6ers were violent insurrectionists, and they weren't. If we allow this precedent to be set, it will be used against us in the future. We can't do that, folks. And the idea that we're going to try and get it squared by using AI surveillance is a disaster. It's even worse. If we go that route, we'll never have freedom again. AI lies. We can show it. Deep fakes, deep this, deep that. I mean, 100%. Folks, we are being set up and played like a violin. Our strings are being twinked every way you can imagine. It is ridiculous what's occurring here. We know who's behind this. All we've got to do to shut this down is have the political courage to do it. But we won't. We won't. Instead, we've got this. This is the problem. I don't know observing consciousness, maybe a great person, maybe a great crew to follow. But what's happening now isn't optics, it's battlefield positioning, as I stated before. Heading to Camp David, Trump dropped the playbook. He framed Los Angeles. It's not a city in crisis, but an occupied territory, lawless overrun. This wasn't bluster. It was legal psychological groundwork for federal war powers. We don't want that. We don't want that. That is ushering in the Great Reset. That is ushering in military takeover of our country in a negative way. I'm sorry, folks. We just saw Pete Hegseth get undermined by people in the Pentagon who have been nonstop fighting to try and get rid of him. We just see what's happening. The deep state is in charge. We are not winning this fight right now. And by expanding the military presence in the United States, we're setting a deadly dangerous precedent. Deadly dangerous. This is being used to back. Trump's getting played is what's happening. This isn't some 5D chess thing. This is a load of crap. These guys, and I'm sorry for my brothers and sisters in the Q movement, this is manifest. Trump said he didn't know about the stuff going on in Ukraine. He admitted he doesn't know what's going on. This is not 5D chess. This is a military takeover. This is ushering in AI governance. And y'all that think that that there's some sort of a 5D chess plan, you're promoting something that's going to end your freedoms permanently. It's not coming back after this, folks. We can't beat an AI military. We can't beat this predictive surveillance and predictive policing model that they're trying to implement right now, that Trump is supporting because he keeps getting lied to.
The big, beautiful bill says AI gets to run free for 10 years and there's nothing we the people can do about it.
That's 100%.
And that just happened, and now this is happening.
Once this is in place, we get our next leftist president ushered in through election fraud and through AI manipulation of the government. No one can do anything. We are under permanent deep state globalist rule. That is the end of freedom, the end of America. And the idea that somehow we're winning this is absurd, patently absurd. Show me one arrest that matters that's occurred in this administration. Show me one thing that's occurred in the 6 months that we've been here that has shown that we're actually in control or leading or doing anything.
And this is happening under our watch. This is happening in LA. We just had the fires. Something should have been done. Again, my family's all down there, and I'm pissed that innocent
Why wasn't Karen Bass arrested for the fires?
Exactly. So they just let this happen. I mean, again, I'm pissed that our administration and our feds are sitting there with their thumbs up their butts going, oh, we didn't know it was going to happen. This stuff just happens spontaneously, you know? No, this doesn't happen spontaneously. And even if it did happen spontaneously, where the hell have you been? We're on day 4 of this, and there's a nokings.org website where they're planning to do this on the 14th. They're sitting there prepping. They're moving money. They have buses. They're paying actors. They're paying infiltrate. They are paying people who they say, oh, we don't want violence, but they're paying people who are strong and have courage and have military background Why would you need someone who's physically strong with military background if you're not planning to be violent?
This is 100% intentional violence, intentional everything. And at the end of the day, folks, I'm sorry. I love Donald Trump, but this is a failure. It is an abject failure because there's too many bad guys around him. I've been talking about it. We broke the news on Susie Wiles during the campaign, and I got told, shut up, Renz. I got censored everywhere. I got attacked. No, she's going to do everything. Well, she delivered the win, and now is making sure he doesn't hear anything.
And remember when after the election, when it was like the celebratory, he just won. She was there on the stage with him.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember this moment because
remember
I was focused on
how
her.
she looked like
she was terrified of being on the stage, and he tried to get her to come to the mic. Come on, Susie! It's all because of Susie. Come up to the mic. Why does that woman want to hide behind everything? Because when you look her up, and again, you can do it yourself.
Yep.
She has ties to the globalists.
Everyone bad.
She's worked for organizations that help get people like Obama elected. She's all over the map, and she herself has said that she's okay with the trans stuff. And guess what else she said she was okay with? Guess what else Susie Wiles said that she was okay with? The open border.
Yep.
Why?
100%.
Why
100%.
would someone in Trump's administration in that position be able to say those things and have a freaking job?
Yep. Well, this is the problem, right? And Trump is still giving her credit for delivering the election, I guess. I don't know what's going on here. But what I do know is that nothing that's occurring is an accident. We, the people, are being played, and we're being played in a way that is not going in the right direction. That we are going to see the implementation of the predictive policing, AI governance police state. We're going to set a precedence. Unless all of us are sharing this and talking about it and putting it out there, what's going to happen is we're going to have a situation where we're going to set these precedents. We're going to open the door for these things, and they will never be shut again. And the left will use it in the future. You got 4 years of Donald Trump. You go ahead and hang your hat on that. But guess what? My kids, producer Andrea's kids, the kids out there, they got a long life ahead of them. There will be leftist people in charge. And we've seen how corrupt Biden was. We've seen the auto pen. We've seen what happens when our government is deployed against Americans. Ask the J6ers.
Well, they love the emergency powers. They love being able to be complete dictators when they revoke all of our constitutional rights under the guise of an emergency. So when you see us being constantly put under an emergency, I don't care who's in office. I don't want it. It completely destroys our constitutional rights, and it should terrify everyone. And I don't trust that Trump and his 5G chessboard is going to protect me in the next COVID and the next emergency powers or a military shutdown. I mean,
they're not.
Insanity.
It's not. It's a disaster, folks. This ties in. Okay, like we don't have enough time today. This show has gone way too fast. But this ties in. This ties in with COVIDs and the vaccines and the mRNA and the transhumanist agenda. It's all tied in. We're going to try and get through this in the coming week or so, but this is a terrifying development. It's all tied together. If we don't stand up and say no on this, if we don't share, make sure that people see what's happening, people don't understand what's happening here. I need you guys to help me share this show. Help me get the word out. Look at what we're doing on X. Look at what we're doing everywhere. We have got to get this stuff out, because the only possible chance we have is that we, the people, say hell no on this. We don't want martial law. We don't want AI governance. We don't want these protests. We don't want this violence. We are not going to accept it. Listen, I've had to sharpen my axe. I've had to gear back up. I'm going back into it. I wanted peace as much as anyone. I wanted to rest. I wanted to sit down. I wanted to let Trump take care of it. I'm exhausted. Producer Andrea and I have talked about this extensively. No one wants to have to fight every day. No one wants to have, but our kids deserve it. The future is at stake. The future is at stake. Our children's future is at stake. On the 14th, let's go back to it.
Yep.
On the 14th, if you are in any place where you see a dot there, you have to worry about what's going to happen. Producer Andrea is in one of those places. I'm in one of those places. Everybody's in one of those places. Folks, it's no longer a spectator event. It's no longer time to sit back. It's time to get involved. It's time to get active. I pray for our country. I pray for everybody.
Pray for the people of Los Angeles. because it's so sad to see that great city fall to how far it's fallen.
It's beyond sad. It's heartbreaking. That really is a city that's an amazing place if it was ran properly. And anyways, all right, we got it. We're up against a break, folks. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please share. We'll be back very soon.